Hey guys, Mike here, MF Custom Garage. So I was just going to go over a couple things and a quick intro to this video. It is June the 1st, Sunday, I don't know, afternoon, and I've got a bunch of videos, guys, I'm going to put up. I've done a bunch of work in the last few weeks, and I want to get the videos out to you guys, but ultimately it's kind of been a little bit of a bullshit run in the fact that not everything's gone the way I wanted it to. Luckily, I've been able to film all the way along and kind of keep that going and everything else. So we'll get the videos out. I'm just going to throw a couple things in this intro. Like, share, subscribe, ring the bell, do all that stuff. We're trying to get more and more content. We're trying to get to the racetrack. We're hoping to get to the racetrack this coming Friday, testing tune in Medicine Hat. And I'm pretty sure we still will, but we've had a couple little setbacks with the Galaxy and the whole switch over to the micro squared ECU. But we're getting there. It's got everything seems to be working. We just got a spark problem, but we'll quickly sort that out, and we should be able to get some couple miles on it, and then we'll get it down there and we'll get tested. I got to try to track down a couple wheels this week too, or do something so that we can mount some slicks before we go. Other than that, things are going pretty good. And like I said, we had done a bunch of work, and ultimately, I want to get you guys some videos. So thanks for sticking around. I think we're up to like 33 subscribers, so that's good, guys. And we'll get you a bunch of content, and hopefully it'll you guys will like it, and everything will go all right. And we'll get to actually doing some things. The weather's drastically improved over May, so that's good. And like I said, guys, we'll get this up, and we're going to do it over the course of about 3 videos instead of one super long one, so that it's not drug out as bad, and we'll probably hopefully keep you guys a little more entertained for a shorter point of view, because I know watching YouTube videos, even myself, you get up into these half an hour. Nowadays, guys are doing over. I watched a Vice Grip Garage video the other night, which, I mean, I've watched Vice Grip since he was started out. I mean, I really like Derek, but I was like, man, the video was like an hour and 55 minutes long. It was like watching a movie, and it's just, I don't know. I can't stay that entertained on a YouTube video. So anyway, we'll try to keep these so that they're a little more short and make sense, because, like I said, some of that long stuff, I don't know. I can't get into it, so I'm not sure how I could ever expect you guys to. So anyway, thanks. Mike out. Hey guys, Mike here, MF Custom Garage. Today we're going to go over a couple things. You'll see behind me to my left here is our 1981 GMC Vandura 2500. This is a Vanguard conversion van. I'm going to introduce it to the channel, and we're going to do a quick intro to it and everything I kind of got going on with it, and go from there. This is going to be mine and Jay's tow rig when we head to Miles of Michigan. And so yeah, we're just going to go over it, introduce it to the channel. You go over the things I did to it last year, and because last year we actually had the motor out of it, and I'll post a picture of the motor and a couple other things, and then we'll show you everything as we go along today. So the biggest thing we got to do with it today is I want to weld a butt in the exhaust so we can put a wideband into it to see where the carburetor's at. The accelerator pump's a little rich. I got to adjust that. I made some adjustments to the carburetor before. And just some basic things in general before we go, and clean it up a little bit more and stuff like that. So go through everything, make sure it all works still. Been sitting all winter. So anyway, we'll quickly give you a tour of the Bandura. Alright guys, so here it is, 1981 Vanguard conversion van. And as you can see here, we're going to put a headlight in it. And it fogged over, she got some moisture in her. And like I said, last year we put brand new tires on it. We put a rebuilt motor in it because unfortunately when I bought it, the camshaft was knocked out of it. It was kind of an unexpected thing. And but I believe we'll look inside. It doesn't have a ton of miles on it. As you can tell from like the bumpers and stuff, they're like brand new. There's a little bit of rust here. Eventually we'll get around to fixing that up. But for the most part, the old van's in pretty nice shape. And there's a little rust spot here. Fix that up too. So the windshield needs a little bit of work. The seal around it is pretty ugly. So I think before we go, we might, I think we're going to try to put a new window in it right away and a new seal. So I'm just going to walk around this side. So inside the old girl, I put a inverter solar panel on the roof. Let's see, new LED lights. So it has a Dometic fridge in it, which works. Stove. Small sink with just a hand pump and a water pump. Everything up here is good old 1981 GMC van. We'll pull the doghouse off here in a little bit and show you. That is upper bunk up here, but I don't think anybody will ever use it. We just use it for storage. So yeah, this here closet was, I believe, supposed to be a bathroom. And we do have one of those portable toilets in there, but for the most part, we end up staying in places that sort of have facilities. So yeah, we'll get underneath it and we'll show you guys underneath it. But yeah, other than being nice and dated in here like 1981, which doesn't bother me at all, I kind of like the old Vandura. She's a pretty solid old girl. Easy to work on. Nothing you can't buy at a parts store if you need something for it. So okay guys, as you're about to see, we're underneath the van. So yeah, small block Chevy, stock exhaust manifolds, nothing fancy there. Stock wide pipe. I took the catalytic converter out. I've got a resonator in here and a ProFlow Max muffler. Now these mufflers are home to us. They're built up in Red Deer. This is a straight through muffler, just like a MagnaFlow. All it has in it is stainless steel wool and a perforated core. So this exhaust is straight through, but it does have a resonator in it. The wide pipe, I just made it so that it works. Like I said, it has a Performance World aftermarket starter. Other than that, stock converter. No, I don't have the converter shield on it. Oh, my bad. Can't even remember actually if it was on here. And I even have a starter wire tang undone. I have to put that back on the motor. It's got KYB gas adjust shocks in the front. They were still in good shape when I bought it. The front end all checked out. Like I said, I've got a return line system pump where I rerouted the line. You can see how I have it run to the outside to try to deal with heat and vapor lock, and it has had none. Notice we have a little bit of a leak at the front here of the engine too. We'd have to look into that. So, because it's only got about 10,000 kilometers on it right now. So anyway, we'll take a look into that. Other than that, it's not leaking bad. And the rest of the van, as you can see, you know, it's pretty mint under here. We washed it. We did a little bit of undercoating, and that was the extent of it. The rest of it is the way it is. Back here, though, we did do a little bit of work, and we'll talk about it. So we got a set of air shocks in here, and not because the springs are bad or anything. It's just because, anyway, like I was saying about the air shocks, we've got a set of air shocks in here. And the only reason why they're in here is because just to help load level depending on trailer, if we have a trailer on or anything like that, boat. So, but other than that, everything under here looks like a van that would have had 120,000 kilometers on it, or we convert that, that's about 80,000 miles. I put a brand new gas tank in here, brand new sending unit, bunch of lines. I've got it wired for a trailer, the trailer brake controller. Like I said, it does only have a 10 bolt in the back. Brakes are all good, tires are good. Up in here, you can see it's absolutely mint, guys, this van. This trailer hitch, we may modify it a little bit. There's the old propane connection. Can't take it out of the body without doing some major body work, so we've just left it. So yeah, that's a basic look at the underneath of the 1981 good old Vanguard conversion van. So anyway, that's our intro to the van and our chariot to take us on miles of Michigan. I guess a little bit about this real quick, guys. I'm just gonna walk up here. Okay, guys, real quick, I'm just gonna talk about the van for a second. We just kind of went over it all and what it is. Today we're gonna take the carburetor off. We're gonna weld the O2 sensor button in the exhaust. The carburetor is just a little bit off from where I want it. So we're going to just make it a little bit better. And as I noticed, we have that little tiny oil leak too, which we may try to deal with, but we'll figure that out as we go, I guess. That being said, the reason why I wanted the van, I mean, I don't know, some of you may know, I have a truck out front that we call Smoke, and it was actually has a little bit of history to my wife and her family, and that's sort of why I got it back. And it is the ultimate truck, guys. It's a 6-liter LS with a 4L80 in it. And drive a diesel, I don't think you get a better combination than that. But it needs some heads put on. It has original iron heads, and it smokes. And so, but at the time when I got the van, guys, I wanted something I could sleep in, camp in a little bit. But I'm not going to lie to you guys. As I get older, I don't like laying on the ground that much. And that being said, we're going on miles of Michigan, and I could wind up having to lay on the ground. But that's okay. But day to day, I wanted something because I have a drive-on that I could work on the drive-on that was general purpose, could pull a trailer, do everything I wanted it to do. We also have a boat, which we may do a little bit of boat content on here, because I kind of got an old school boat. And yeah, like we just wanted something we could pull a race car with. We could go to the racetrack, you're between rounds or something, or it's taking forever to deal with something. If you wanted to, you could sit inside, you could sit down, you had a fridge, all that kind of stuff. Plus, we could take it on the odd weekend trip. And actually, guys, I think we're going to take it on a road trip maybe Monday, and we'll take you guys along with us. Because I have to run to my mother's to do a little bit of work on another motorhome. So, with that being said, guys, that's how I'm going to leave the introduction to the van. And we'll film all the stuff we do to it today. But I'm not going to film taking off the carburetor and all that. That's all just basic boring stuff in my mind. We'll show how we modify the carburetor and all that kind of stuff. Stuff that I think guys are more or less interested in. So anyway, that's the introduction to the van. Like, share, subscribe, ring the bell, do the thing, all that crap. And thanks for hanging out with me today. And catch you on the next one, guys. Okay, guys, we're just going over the van here and talking about the engine. So as you can see, the engine compartment of the van, pretty basic, just your standard, heavy van stuff. It's the stuff they added for the conversion. There's a couple batteries, and I've done some wiring under here, just clean things up more than anything. So the one thing I did want to talk about, guys, is I put, when I did the fuel tank, I made sure this had a return line on it. And I also, as you can see here, the good filter in here, push lock fittings, and I rerouted the fuel line up and out of the way of everything. That way there's no vapor lock or anything like that. Because, well, we just don't want no vapor lock. And so far it's been great. So there's no problem there. This does have a newer style radiator in it, and it stays super cool. Runs right at thermostat temperature, which is, I think I've got a 180 in it. Okay, so into here, guys. So this is just your basic .350 small block Chevy, 4-bolt main. What it was originally. It's been freshened up a bit. Like I said, I dropped the cam when it was on propane. It's got an AGI distributor, nothing fancy there. Any auto parts house, we're going down the road, we can get parts for it. That's the whole great thing about this and being a small block Chevy, and the ability to be able to work on this thing. Turbo 400 transmission behind this 350. Gonna walk around to the other side here. Okay, this side you can see a little. This side we can see a little bit more. So I decided we'd walk around this side. So the total recipe for this small block Chevy here, like I said, it was on propane before. So that's a Rochester carburetor that I had that's basically numbered for this style 350. I just went into my archives of carburetors, rebuilt it. I put a tapered rod in it, and I think a 74 jet. And it has, and of course we can adjust the power piston on the front rods if need be. The valve covers are on here because I just had them laying around. Put good gaskets in them. Nothing fancy there, and it's not because stock ones wouldn't do. The stock ones are just in rough shape. Okay, as for the motor itself, like I said, it's a 354 bolt main. I would call this my 300 horsepower package that I've been sort of doing for years when it comes to small block Chevys. But this one I did it like I do it. So this was a dish piston 350. So it didn't have a lot of compression. Probably 8-1, 8.5-1, whatever they were. They were bad. Anyway, now it has 601, 305 heads on it, HO heads. So that brings the compression up basically to about 10-1. And it's 10-1 compression, 184 valve, intake, 150 exhaust. The cylinder heads have been bowl ported, cleaned up a little bit. It has an Edelbrock Performer EPS intake on it. With a conversion thing for the Rochester, which isn't my favorite way to go, but I didn't know if I was going to run a Rochester carb on here or not. So, but as it turns out, I'm fairly happy with this carburetor. But we are due putting a bun in the O2 today and kind of getting it a little closer. So that's all it is. It has a 180 thermostat in it. The distributor's been curved just a touch. And other than that, it's just the way GM intended it. They put a new water pump on it and a couple things, but other than that, everything just kind of works the way it's supposed to. So anyway, that's the motor in the Vandura. Okay, guys, I was just going to add a couple things about this engine. We had talked about the intake being a Performer EPS carburetor. How it is on one of those adapters from the taper to the spread bore. The other thing I was going to talk about is I forgot about the camshaft. The camshaft that's in here is your standard Performer camshaft, Edelbrock Performer camshaft. Now, it's not their actual camshaft. It's a mulling one that specs out the same. It's 204, 214 at 50, 444 lift on 112, I believe, 112 or 114. I can't remember. I'd have to look it up. I think it's a 112 lobe separation. So anyway, that being said, with the 10-1 compression, and I degreed the cam in when I did it as a 9-way keyway chain in it. I think we come up with about 2 degrees advanced, if I remember right. And the cranking compression I was more worried about than anything. The cranking compression on this motor is right around 160 to 165 when it was like, you know, fresh. Not really totally broken in yet. So, it was right where I wanted it. The max I would ever go on 87 octane fuel. But that was the whole key, was to be able to try to maintain being able to run on 87 octane fuel. The only other thing I was going to add is on the spark plugs wires. They're Performance World, but they got ceramic boots on them. Again, heat. I've dealt with motorhomes and vans before, and heat's sort of a big deal. So that's the only other things I wanted to add, guys. I do have an air filter on here off of an old truck. Actually, I think that was on the big block truck when it was still a big block. It had a big K&N filter in it, stuff, plus the X-Flow top. So it just kind of gave us maximum airflow delivery to the carburetor. Nothing major there. So anyway, I think that's about it. Everything basically works. The cruise control has an issue. This diaphragm is gone, but we may put aftermarket cruise on this thing before we go. So